Hi everyone, welcome to Signals from the Batcave. I'm Nok.
And I'm Rah.
And because I'm a slacker and did not watch Gotham, we're going to talk about other Batman-related items, like Dark Knight 3 by Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello, and pencils from...
Andy Kubert.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. So, because that dropped last Wednesday.
Yeah, we did not...
We talked that it was coming out.
Yeah, we talked that it was coming out.
But we didn't have anything to say because no one had read it yet. So,
technically, we couldn't read it yet.
Right. So what do you think, Doc? We'll start off with you.
I thought that it was a good book, but it was lacking.
Mm-hmm.
It started out with a decent storyline, but it was the beginning of a story. I mean, it was trying to set the grounds, but it kind of fell a little short for me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, it's a setting the stage. It's book one, but for what is it, $5.99?
Yeah, it was $6 for that book.
For $5.99,
I think it was a regular length, 22 pages too.
Yeah,
so
I wanted it to be a little bit meatier for $5.99.
Yeah, you had the cardstock cover and higher paper quality. That's probably where the cost went to, but story-wise, it was lacking for me.
I mean, I like what they did with Wonder Woman. She's got spoilers for those of you who don't have it, but you should have it by now if you're listening to this podcast. She's got a couple kids. It looks like one of them is an infant, and the other one is obviously the daughter of her and Soup's.
Yes. And if you
Kara.
Yes, Kara is Supergirl. If you read this Dark Knight Strikes Again, that is where Kara introduced, and Wonder Woman gets pregnant again.
Ah.
So.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've read those books, so...
I want to say that the son's name is...
Do you know who the dad is?
Kent. What's
Connor?
What's Clark's father's name?
Oh.
His earthly father.
Oh, crap. Now I'm gonna... Is it Paul?
No.
No, the mom's Martha.
Yes. Jonathan, there you go. No, that's not the kid's name.
Okay. Oh, we'll figure it out. But either way, the book was a little light because it was setting the stage. And I don't know if it was completely worth the cover price, but I do like the pencils for Andy Kubert. My big concern is on the marketing run for this whole series, there's supposed to be tons of guest artists doing guest covers. Where the hell are those guest covers?
They sold out.
Of all of them?
Of all of them, except for Phantom.
Oh.
When I went to Soundground, the only cover that they had left was Phantom. And they opened shop at 9 or 10 o'clock, and I got there at 1:30, and they were completely sold out of everything but Phantom covers.
Oh. Because I must have bought one of the last of the other covers, because I have the Phantom cover, and I have the other cover, which is sort of like a throwback to Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Right.
Where it's like him and the girl Robin on the cover. But it's like water painted watercolor.
Pretty much all of the variant covers were throwbacks to Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. You got, I think it was Greg Capullo, famous for doing the newest Batman run, starting the New 52 with Scott Snyder. He did Batman in the mech suit stomping on Superman's face. Jim Lee did a Batman and Carrie Kelly Robin cover, and those are the two that stick out the most because those are my two favorite.
But then that again makes me really angry, because if they're doing each book with those covers on it, and if you want those covers, you gotta buy them all. Because they're doing like a 1-book gallery where there's maybe, or even like a 4 or 5 book gallery where there's like 5 or 6 covers as art on the inside, maybe the last 5 pages. That's gonna really piss me off.
Now that you've said that, my digital has all of the variant covers in it.
Yeah.
But I had to pay twice because I paid for the physical book and I paid for the digital book. So I spent $12 on Dark Knight 3.
Yeah, but you got all the covers, but you don't have 12 copies of the story, do you? You only have 1 copy of the story.
I have 2 copies of the story.
What I'm saying is,
the physical and the digital copies.
If the only way to get those covers is to buy a whole new book, you will have 12 books that essentially the same story.
That is true.
That's fucking weak.
That is weak.
So I don't want to go on a rant about DK3 because I've been looking forward to this book as a run-up to BvS. But
take Jonathan. His name is Jonathan.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, he was named after his earthly grandfather, Jonathan Kent.
Cool. Well, I don't want to deal with that in this video. I'll rant later. But I do like how they showed that Soups was all frozen.
Yeah,
that was kind of neat.
I don't understand what happened there.
And like no one cares.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat. So that'll be a good plot line to investigate.
Kara finds the shrunken city in the Fortress of Solitude and takes it to the Atom and says, "Here, you do something with these small people."
Yeah, I do like the idea of the Atom mini book on the inside. I thought that was a cool little gimmick.
I thought that was a terrible idea.
Oh.
I thought it was a good idea having that part of the storyline, but I did not like having that miniature book inside of the physical comic book. I thought it was just shitty.
It's a total gimmick.
It is a total gimmick.
It's not...
If it's it'd be different if it was a completely different storyline, but this is material that needs to be in that book.
Well, I don't know. It's like those side stories, like when they would run like those arcs, like I don't know, like the last one, which was that I can remember was Battle for the Cowl or Rest in Peace Batman, where there would be the main arc running through the books that were featured, but also in the companion books, the companion titles with that arc, there would be stories going on where that character that contributed to that main arc book was doing other things that led them to that book. Right. So that I mean, I see what they're doing and I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't know that it's like a bad thing. It's a total gimmick, but I don't know that it's a bad thing that they had this little book, because I don't think you need to use 22 of those pages that we said to explain what the Atom was doing at the time. I don't think you needed like 2 or 3 pages of that 22 to do it. I think the little mini book could help you understand what he was doing, so he's not just, hey, I'm the Atom and I have this tiny city. But I don't think it needed to take up space in the actual comic book.
But it's necessary for the storyline.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I mean...
I read the digital copy. My physical copy is bagged and boarded and sealed, and I only pulled it out once to show Sam.
Right.
But it's going to stay in the bag.
Yeah.
I will keep buying 2 copies.
Yeah.
Because I want the collection of physical copies for collector's value, and I'm not a huge collector. I'm not a collector at all, really.
Yeah.
I'm an avid reader. So I will buy the physical copies for the collection, and I will buy the digital copies to read.
Right.
So in the digital copy, the Atom storyline comes at the end. You know, she finds the shrunken city inside of the Fortress of Solitude, and then it cuts to the Atom training in a lizard cage. Yeah. And then Kara comes in and says, these people need help, and that's where it cuts off.
Yeah, I don't think we need to know that he's been training all this time or having that internal monologue about heroes. We don't need to know any of that. I'm sure the next book will just start off with her having sitting in a bottle and talking to the Atom.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not essential for him to go through that training sequence, other than to put in background of maybe what other heroes are thinking, sort of like with Wonder Woman and why she's out and about. But I don't think it was necessary to put him in the book. I'm assuming the only reason that Wonder Woman is in the book is because she's part of the big three.
Right.
And Soups' kids are hers, and that was the last conflict that led to the death of Bats.
Right.
So I'm assuming those are the only connections that she has.
Yes, technically Batman, quote unquote, died at the end of Dark Knight Strikes Again, helping Superman and Kara and Wonder Woman, and even the Atom had a hand in this, save. Do you remember the name of the Shrunken City?
No.
Okay, save the people of the Shrunken City from Lex Luthor. Lex got the city from Brainiac somehow. No, Brainiac was part of that story. They got the Shrunken City from Brainiac. Kara sacrificed herself by joining with Brainiac. It was a quoted sacrifice herself to get the Atom into Brainiac's lair, where he jumps into the bottle, grows to enormous size, freeing all the people, and then they defeat Brainiac, and that was the end. Batman goes back to the cave, hooks himself back into the computer system, and fade to black. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to reread that because none of that is ringing a bell. Maybe I'll see if Barnes & Noble has it.
See if Barnes & Noble has it. Or you could download the Kindle app, and I can share it with you, and you can read it for free for 14 days. You'll have it for 14 days to read.
I'll have to see. I'm gonna go to the Barnes & Noble. I like to hold the book. I'm a collector.
It was a hard read because the artwork was very scratchy. The storyline kind of split in the middle. It went a different route about halfway through the book. The artwork is ugly. That's the only word to describe it. The artwork was ugly. And I think Frank Miller both wrote and penciled the book. So.
That sounds about right. Yikes. All right. Anything else?
DK3. I'm interested in where it goes. We've pretty much spoiled the ending, so might as well start with spoil the beginning. Carrie Kelly is Batman at this point in time. She put on the cape and cowl, went out, tried cleaning up the streets. A whole bunch of cops came in, beat the crap out of her, and
she turned around and beat the crap out of a lot of them.
Yeah, she did. But in the end, she was unmasked, and Commissioner Yindel is back from Dark Knight Returns. If anybody remembers her, she took over for Jim Gordon. Yeah.
You'll have to put a spoilers thing on this.
It's been a week. Yeah. If they haven't read DK3 yet,
what the hell are you listening to this for? Go read it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or read it while we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Batman vs. Superman trailer's teaser came out.
Would have been yesterday on 11:30 Gotham.
11:30 Gotham.
Yeah, so November 30th Gotham.
Yeah.
It ran, so.
I've only seen part of it. It was part of the dream sequence.
I think Sam put it best. It's basically a teaser for actual trailer footage release coming tomorrow on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Right.
I mean, at the end, it blatantly comes out and says it. And yeah, I was expecting that. It's a teaser. It's 40 seconds. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I mean, and so my reaction to it is kind of like, as a trailer, is kind of meh, because it's really just an extension of the extended trailer they released sometime, I think, over the summer. So, or fall, last fall. So it wasn't really terribly revealing or something to get exciting about. It just reinforces the idea that there's a real rift at the beginning of this movie where Bats and Soups, more so by Bats, I think, are enemies. So I think that's good for hammering that home because it'll make sense of what everything else that's about to happen in the movie.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to the Jimmy Kimmel trailer release subsequently on YouTube after his show. Because I don't watch cable.
The show is tonight or tomorrow night?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, it'll be out tomorrow night after the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yeah.
And then I'll see it on Thursday.
Yeah, that's when I'll watch it. Probably Thursday if I'm not scouring the internet on Wednesday night.
I'll
late.
look for it. I'll look for it on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and all the other social medias and YouTube.
But I will say this: I have rewatched The Watchmen, or Watchmen, I should say, from Zack Snyder. I think it was 2012, maybe 2011. I'm not exactly sure, but
That seems kind of
too recent.
Yeah. 'Cause I think
Man of Steel was
think
13,
Hit Girl.
I think.
not Hit Girl. I think Kick-Ass was like 2000.
Yeah, but he didn't have anything to do with that, did he?
Yeah, Kick-Ass was his.
He directed Kick-Ass?
Not Kick-Ass. Sucker Punch.
A Sucker Punch, okay. Well, after having rewatched that with all the problems that people have, with that movie, it was a beautiful movie. It was beautifully shot, put together. Some of the stuff in it was just amazing, and I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that than say some of the stuff that was in MOS, because in MOS it was like Psalm often refers to destruction porn.
It really was.
It was there
the
was
last, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
20 minutes was just straight up destruction.
What makes that difficult to watch is that intrinsically that it's not real, even though they did a good job with the CG. But whereas in Watchmen, there was a lot of hand-to-hand. There was a lot of like in-your-face sort of fighting because there weren't very many super guys. But I'm anxious to see how we sort of mix that with the obviously very mortal Bats and the very super Man of Steel.
My IMDb is not working right now.
Okay. But that's the only thing that really made me jazzed for with this teaser trailer is that that's just that much closer around the corner.
I never watched Watchmen movie, but I did read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Alan Moore fan. That man can do no wrong in my eyes.
Uh-huh.
He's done some amazing work. But from what Sam told me, reading the book is just like watching the movie because it's pretty much panel by panel.
Yeah.
From between the comic book and the movie itself. So
Right.
I didn't need to watch it. But yeah, Batman versus Superman I'm leery of because they're taking stuff straight from the comic books instead of just giving nods to the comic books like the Nolanverse did.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on it. I'm just gonna say I'm leery of it. I'll watch it, but I'm leery. So
Yeah.
that's it for me.
We'll do another supplement on that after the Jimmy Kimmel trailer, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so probably
we'll
next
get
week.
you some more info and give you some more insights into our brains next week on Signals from the Batcave.